The Soviet Union wasn't anything like what Western movies show. You know, those Cold War thrillers where every Russian lives in a gray, concrete nightmare with KGB agents lurking behind every corner. The reality was way more bizarre, and in some ways, way worse. Imagine waking up in a place where your personal bathroom wasn't personal at all, where the toilet and shower were shared with 7 other families, where every single morning meant strategic planning just to brush your teeth without someone pounding on the door. That was daily life for millions of Soviet citizens. And while you lie there in your soft bed with your private bathroom just steps away, let me paint you a picture of what it meant to wake up on the other side of the Iron Curtain. And if you're enjoying these stories, I'd really appreciate a like or subscribe. Super curious where you're all listening from. So, drop a comment with your location and what time it is there. Always blows my mind how people are falling asleep to this. All over the world, picture yourself waking in a world where the air bites with a chill so sharp your breath turns to mist, where your bed is a creaky wooden cot barely wider than your frame, and the walls hum with the restless lives of strangers' neighbors whose joys, quarrels, and dreams bleed into your own. It's 1953 Kyiv, the pulsing heart of the Soviet Union, where every hope and hardship is squeezed into a 150-square-foot room shared with my family. A far cry from the sprawling 1,200-square-foot homes you might know in the US, Canada, or England. My name is Sophia, and this is my story, a tale of grit, quiet defiance, and the stubborn hope that courses through a life where sleep is both a sanctuary and a hard-earned prize. For you, history lovers, aged 16 to 40, curled up with a curiosity for the past and a love for bedtime stories, I'm pulling back the Iron Curtain to reveal a world as alien as it is human. How did millions live like this, packed into spaces smaller than your garage, sharing a single bathroom with 8 families? What secrets did we hide in the shadows of a system that claimed our time, loyalty, and thoughts? Stay with me. Let this mystery unfold, and you'll drift off, wondering how a single night's sleep could hold such power. The morning air in our room is a biting 50 degrees Fahrenheit, nipping at my fingers as I stir beneath a thin woolen blanket, layered with Dad's old coat for extra warmth. Unlike your memory foam mattresses or heated throws, my cot is a wooden slab, its springs groaning like a weary elder, offering little comfort but serving as my haven after a long day. It's 1953, and though Stalin's shadow lingers after his recent death, Kyiv buzzes with a city of 1 million souls navigating a new era. The walls of our pre-revolutionary apartment, thick as history itself, carry a cacophony that jolts me awake, pots clanging in the communal kitchen, a neighbor's sharp words over a missing pinch of sugar, a baby's wail piercing the dawn, pipes moaning like they're alive with the weight of decades. This isn't your suburban bedroom with plush carpets and private in-suites. It's a 150-square-foot universe where my family, Dad, for secrets. Privacy is a word as foreign as the Hollywood films we'll never see. Yet there's a strange warmth in this chaos, a pulse of life that binds us, and I want you to feel it, the grit, the heart, the sheer will it takes to rise each day. I swing my legs over the cot's edge, the wood creaking under my weight, a sound as familiar as a lullaby. By day, this cot doubles as our couch, hosting neighbors for tea or serving as a desk for my schoolwork. Across the room, a mere 10 feet away, my parents' fold-out bed is already empty. Mom's up, Dad's off to the breadline. Clothes hang on hooks along the wall, no closet to spare in a world where every inch is a treasure. I pull on a sweater, its wool scratchy but warm, and pause by the small table where we eat, work, and sometimes laugh until tears spill. This room, no larger than a modern American garage, is our everything, our shelter, our stage, our battleground. You, with your walk-in closets and open-plan kitchens, might recoil at the thought. But for us, it's home, a place where love and resilience weave together the seams of daily life. How do you live when every moment is shared, when even your dreams feel tethered to the collective? Let this world draw you in, and you'll see moms in the corner, tending a small electric burner, a forbidden device. Every family sneaks to heat water faster than the ancient communal stove. The samovar, a gleaming copper heirloom that's outlasted revolutions, wars, and purges, sits proudly beside it, steaming with tea that's the heartbeat of our mornings. Its metallic temps fills the air, mingling with the faint must of old wood. And damp plaster, a sensory tapestry that's both comforting and confining. Unlike your Keurig machines or breakfast bars stocked with endless cereals, our meal is starkly simple: buckwheat porridge, kasha scooped into a chipped bowl, sweetened with a precious teaspoon of sugar, hoarded like gold. I eat standing, saving time, the warmth of the kasha grounding me for the day's battles. Oranges are a rare dream, a burst of color we might see once a year for New Year's. If Mom snags one from the state-run Gastronome 3 blocks away. Dad's out now, trudging a half-mile to the bakery line, a ritual where families like ours and the Petrovs next door trade turns to fetch fresh bread, cheap, state-subsidized, but costing 30 minutes in the 40 degrees Fahrenheit drizzle, stamping feet against the cold. You might grab a bagel or a drive-through coffee on your way to work. For us, that bread is a victory, a shared effort that knits our community together. Can you feel the chill of that weight, the hope in every loaf? If you're hooked on this glimpse into a world where every moment is a quiet struggle, hit that subscribe button. Your support fuels more stories like this, blending history and heart to lull you into sleep. Keep drifting with Mew, won't want to miss what lies ahead. The bathroom is the day's true gauntlet, a 5 by 7 foot space shared by 8 families, perhaps 30 people, with a stained tub, a rusty shower head, a cracked sink barely clinging to the wall, and a toilet that groans with every flush like it's pleading for rest. Timing is everything. Too early, and I'm shivering in the 45 degrees Fahrenheit hallway, my breath visible in the dim light. Too late, and I'm stuck behind Maria, the elderly widow who moves with agonizing slowness, or Ivan, the factory foreman whose gruff voice rumbles through the thin door. I grab my towel and toiletry kit, soap, toothbrush, a comb, all fiercely guarded treasures, and step into the corridor. A single 40-watt bulb casts a sickly yellow glow, barely illuminating the parquet floor. Once elegant when this building housed a single wealthy family, now worn to splinters by decades of Soviet footsteps. The wallpaper peels in curls, revealing layers like a history book, floral patterns from Tsarist times, stark red stars from the revolution's fervor. The bathroom door is shut, Maria's inside, and Ivan leans against the wall, his stubble catching the weak light as he mutters, 10 minutes already. I sigh, my heart sinking yet oddly soothed by this familiar ritual. This is life, a daily negotiation of space and time, a test of patience you'd never face in your 2-bathroom homes with endless hot water. What would you do, waiting in that cold hallway, knowing your day hinges on these stolen minutes? Maria finally emerges, her thin hair wrapped in a towel, offering a curt nod as she shuffles past. Ivan gestures me ahead, a small kindness that feels like a gift in this crowded world. Inside, the bathroom is steamy, the hot water a rare stroke of luck today. The tiles are chipped, the mirror fogged, but I move fast soap across my face. Toothbrush, scrubbing, a quick splash of water, all in 7 minutes, leaving time for others. There's no lingering, no long showers with scented gels or fluffy towels like you might savor. This is survival, a race to avoid a neighbor's scowl or being late for work or school. Back in our room, Mom hands me a cup of tea, its warmth seeping into my chilled hands, a comfort as vital as your morning latte. Run, I sip, standing by the window, where Keogh's gray dawn peeks through threadbare curtains. The state radio crackles, not just with news of factory quotas or socialist triumphs, but with poetry, Pushkin's verses of snow and longing, read in a deep, soothing voice that carries me beyond these walls. For a moment, I'm lost in those words, their rhythm sparking dreams I can't quite name. It's a secret joy, this morning ritual, a flicker of creativity in a world that demands conformity. You, with your Spotify playlists or true crime podcasts, might find it quaint. But for me, it's a lifeline, a whisper of something bigger than the endless lines and quotas. I pull on my heavy wool coat, practical, over-stylish, its weight a shield against the 40 degrees Fahrenheit drizzle outside. A small mirror by the door shows me clean. Presentable fashion is a luxury we don't chase, unlike your closets bursting with trends. The stairwell smells of cabbage and tobacco, the elevator broken since before I was born. 5 flights down, my footsteps echo, each step a beat of purpose. Keogh's streets hit me with a damp chill, the sky a slab of wet concrete. The tram stop is crowded, workers huddling under turned-up collars, their faces set against the weather. I squeeze aboard, bodies pressed in a silent, shared endurance, a far cry from your car commutes or Uber rides with earbuds. Through fogged windows, I glimpse Keogh's patchwork golden-domed churches beside stark Soviet blocks, a city layered with history. Lines snake outside shops, women clutching string bags, hoping for butter or shoes. A scene you might swap for a quick Amazon order. Posters proclaim the glory of 5-year plans, but the faces around me are weary, focused on survival. Can you imagine trading your morning scroll through Instagram for this tram ride, where every glance tells a story of quiet resilience? At the Arsenal factory, a 50-acre sprawl of smokestacks and steel, I show my papers to a guard who barely looks up. The changing room hums, with workers swapping coats for sturdy pants and thick shirts. Their chatter practical rumors of winter boots at the store. A sick child hopes for a quota bonus that might mean extra bread. My lathe awaits, a hulking beast of metal and oil, its roar filling the air as I shape tractor parts for farms across Ukraine. The noise is relentless screeches, clangs, the shouts of foremen, a symphony you'd never hear in your air offices with coffee breaks and ergonomic chairs. Yet there's pride in this work, in turning raw steel into something that feeds a nation. My hands, calloused and steady, move by muscle memory, each part a small victory. Exhaustion creeps in, a bone-deep weariness that promises deep, dreamless sleep. A rest you might chase with apps or white noise machines, but for me, it's earned through sweat and focus. Breaks are fleeting 10 minutes for weak tea in a chipped mug, whispers about shop deliveries or a coworker's new baby. I dream of a radio, its music, a window to the world, or an apartment of my own, though the wait list stretches years. The factory's rhythm carries me through the morning, my hands shaping metal, while my mind wanders to the radio's poetry, to hopes for a better life, to the sketches I'll draw tonight. In the quiet of our room, when the baby next door sleeps, I'll pull out pencil and paper, capturing the curve of a lathe or Ivan's tired smile. It's not art for galleries, but for Mia rebellion, a way to claim something mine in a world that demands we share everything. You might post your art online or doodle in a notebook. For me, these sketches are secret treasures hidden under my cot, symbols of freedom in a sea of quotas. Lunch comes with a blaring horn, and I step into the factory yard, the drizzle cold against my face. The gray concrete stretches out, but beyond it, Kiju's golden domes gleam faintly through the haze, a reminder of beauty amid the grind. In the cafeteria, I eat cabbage soup and a meat patty, subsidized to keep us working, a far cry from your salad bars or takeout. Conversations swirl, someone heard of a butter shipment, another's kid aced a math test. These moments, simple but real, bind us, like your coffee breaks or team lunches. I think of my sketches, how they capture this camaraderie, the way I laugh lines deepen when he talks of his daughter. As I return to my lathe, the afternoon looms long, the noise a constant pulse. I check each part, knowing they'll reach farms far beyond Kyiv. A quiet pride you might feel finishing a project or hitting a deadline back home. The communal kitchen is a chaos of smells, cabbage, stewing, fish frying, someone's burnt potatoes. I help Mom cook, slicing onions on our tiny counter, the samovar steaming beside us. We eat standing, saving the table for guests or Dad's paperwork. He returns with bread, his face lined from the cold, and we swap stories, his about the bakery. Lines, gossip, mine about a new worker who jammed the lathe. Laughter cuts through the room's chill, a warmth that fills us beyond the kasha. Unlike your family dinners with endless options, ours is patched together from what's available, yet it's enough more than enough. As evening falls, I tune the radio to a music program, state-approved songs of love and labor. But sometimes, late at night, a neighbor's record player spins forbidden jazz, its saxophone wail a secret we share, like your underground playlists or viral tick. It's risky, but it feels alive, a whisper of a world beyond quotas. Before bed, I sit by the window, the radio's poetry fading into static. I sketch a worker's hands, a machine's gears, a glimpse of Kyiv's skyline. These drawings, hidden under my cot, are my defiance, my way of saying I'm more than a factory hand. The system wants us to build socialism, but in these quiet moments, I build something else, a space for me. As I slip under my blanket, the cots creak, a familiar lullaby. Kio's glow filters through the curtains. Sleep is my escape, a place where I'm not a Soviet citizen or a factory worker, just Sophia, dreaming of poetry and possibility. You, with your smart lights and cozy bedrooms, might find this strange, but there's a beauty in this simplicity, a lesson in finding joy where you are. Stay with this story, let it carry you through the Soviet night, and you'll see how resilience and hope weave through every moment, pulling you toward dreams as deep as mine. Imagine a world where the dawn breaks with the hum of a city that never fully rests, where your life is a delicate balance between duty to a vast system and the quiet defiance of your own dreams, and where sleep-deep, bone-weary sleep is your only true escape. It's 1962, and I'm Sophia, a 25-year-old supervisor in a sprawling Moscow factory. My life transformed from the communal chaos of my youth in Kyiv. I've traded a 150-square-foot shared room for a 600-square-foot apartment, a palace by Soviet standards, yet the weight of quotas, secrets, and silent rebellions follows me into the night. For you, history buffs aged 16 to 40 in the US, Canada, and England, curled up in your cozy 1,200-square-foot homes with private bathrooms and Wi-Fi. This is a journey into a past both alien and human. How did I find freedom in a world where every move was watched? What did it mean to dream in a system that planned my every step? Stay with me. Let this story pull you in, and you'll drift off wondering how a single sketch or a forbidden note could mean so much. The morning light filters through my thin curtains, casting a soft glow across my 12 by 12-foot bedroom, a sanctuary I never dared imagine in Kyiv. My bed, a sturdy wooden frame with cotton sheets worn smooth, is no match for your memory foam mattresses or smart thermostats, but it's mine alone. The air is a crisp 55 degrees Fahrenheit. Moscow's chill seeping through the concrete walls of my 600-square-foot apartment, a luxury earned after years at the lathe. Sleep here is a private retreat, unlike the shared walls of my youth where neighbors' snores bled into my dreams. Yet Moscow's hum, a city of 5 million souls, never fully fades, a reminder of the Soviet machine I'm part of. You, with your noise-canceling headphones and sleep apps, might find it hard to grasp, but this bed is a victory. A place where I'm not just a cog, but Sophia, a woman with dreams tucked beneath the sheets. I rise to the sharp ring of an alarm clock, its mechanical tick cutting through the dawn. Gone are the clatters of communal pots or a baby's wail from Kyiv, my bathroom, a 5 by 5-foot marvel with a chipped sink and a shower that sometimes grants hot water, is a far cry from the 5 by 7-foot chaos shared by 8 families. No more waiting. Behind Maria or Ivan, I wash with basic soap, its faint chemical scent unlike your lavender gels, and brush my teeth in a fogged mirror, my reflection, a woman who's learned to guard her thoughts. Hot water today is a small miracle, warming my chilled hands. You might linger in a steamy shower. For me, every minute is measured, a habit from years of shared spaces in my 10 by 10-foot kitchen, the heart of my home. I brew tea on a single gas burner, the flame flickering against the hum of a Soviet fridge that's more noise than cold. Unlike your granite countertop kitchens with espresso machines, my breakfast is simple. Black bread with a thin smear of butter, maybe sausage from a workplace deal. I think of your Starbucks runs or cereal aisles, smiling at the contrast. My meal is sparse, but fuels a day that demands everything. The samovar, a copper heirloom from Kiju, steams proudly, a relic of resilience that survived wars and purges. Sipping tea, its bitterness grounds me, a small joy in a world of scarcity. Can you feel the weight of that cup, anchoring you in a life of limits? If you're hooked on this glimpse into a life of quiet victories, hit that subscribe button. Your support fuels more stories like this, blending heart and history to lull you into sleep. Keep drifting with me. You won't want to miss the secrets of this Soviet world. My commute is a marvel. The Moscow Metro's chandelier-lit stations gleaming like underground palaces. Unlike your crowded subways or podcast-filled car rides, this ride is silent. Workers packed shoulder to shoulder, lost in thought. I clutch my bag lunch, a notebook, a pencil for sketching and watch Moscow blur past through fogged windows, Baroque palaces turned communal flats, Stalinist towers, and post-war blocks like mine. Lines snake outside shops, women with string bags hoping for butter, a scene you might swap for an Amazon order. Posters shout of 5-year plans, but the faces around me are tired, eyes fixed on survival. Can you imagine trading your morning Instagram scroll for this shared endurance? At the factory, a 40-acre sprawl producing TV parts, I oversee 20 workers from a glass-walled cubicle, an 8-by-8-foot space with a photo of my parents, a clunky phone, and endless paperwork forms in triplicate that oil the Soviet machine. Comrade Volkov announces a 12% quota hike, sparking groans. My team Katya, a witty technician, Victor, a meticulous veteran, knows find reserves means cutting corners. We stash unofficial reserves, hidden parts in a dusty storeroom. A forbidden lifeline like your workplace shortcuts. The factory floor roars, machines screeching, metal clanging, air thick with oil and sweat. I check quality, solve crises like an overheating motor fixed by Ivan's salvaged parts. His grumble, same problem as last month, hides ingenuity you might recognize in a DIY hack. Pride fuels me, knowing our parts bring TVs to families, but exhaustion promises deep sleep, stealing downtime. Unlike your 9-to-5 with coffee breaks, this is raw, relentless labor. Breaks are briefed 10 minutes for weak tea, whispers of winter coats at the store. Katya shares a rumor. Victor talks of his grandson, his eyes softening. These moments, like your team chats, bind us. I dream of a radio or a better apartment, though waitlists stretch years. In my mind, I sketch gears, Katya's smile, the factory's Pulsa secret hobby I'll draw tonight, hidden under my bed. You might post art online. I keep mine clandestine, a claim to my soul in a world demanding conformity. Evenings are salvation. My kitchen alive with friends like Marina, a teacher, and Dmitri, an engineer. We sip Soviet champagne, its sweet fizz, a cheap luxury, unlike your Netflix binges or pub nights. We share stories, Marina's student's poem, Dmitri's shipment woes, and play bootleg jazz on X-ray films. Ella Fitzgerald's voice, a whisper of the West, riskier than your Spotify finds. We pass Tverdowski's poems, dreaming of coffee. Or vacations, moments that ease the system's weight. Can you feel the thrill of a forbidden song, the warmth of a shared laugh in a watched world? My sketches pile up, a secret gallery of gears, faces, and city lights. The factory teaches discipline, but these evenings teach hope you might find in pursuing what lights your soul. As I slip into my 144 square foot bedroom, lighting a 60-watt bulb, I sketch Ivan's hands or metro chandeliers. Sleep comes, gently, Moscow's hum a distant lullaby. My rest raw but earned. You, with smart lights and cozy homes, might find this strange. But there's beauty in this simplicity, a lesson in finding joy where you are. Stay with this story, let it carry you through the Soviet night toward dreams as deep as mine. Imagine waking in a world where every breath battles the morning chill, where your bed is a narrow cot creaking under your weight, and the walls pulse with the hum of a city that never fully rests, a city where dreams are both a rebellion and a refuge. It's 1968. Moscow, and I'm Sophia, a 13-year-old girl growing up in a 100-square-foot bedroom, my only sliver of solitude in a Soviet system that claims every hour. For you, history lovers, aged 16 to 40, in the US, Canada, and England, nestled in your cozy 1,200-square-foot homes with private bathrooms and Wi-Fi. This is a dive into a life both foreign and familiar, where sleep is a stolen treasure and dreams are a quiet defiance. How did a teenager find freedom in a world of red scarves and rigid plans? What secrets did I hide under my bed in a city of 5 million where every thought was watched? Stay with me. Let this story grip your heart, spark your curiosity, and pull you into a dreamy trance that'll carry you to the end. Wondering how a single night's sleep could hold such power, my eyes flutter open to the sharp ring of an alarm clock, slicing through the 50 degrees Fahrenheit chill of my Moscow bedroom. The air nips at my fingertips as I tug a thin woolen blanket closer, layered with an old scarf for warmth. Unlike your memory foam mattresses or heated throws, my bed is a wooden frame. Its springs sighing with every move, barely wide enough for my growing frame. This isn't the 150-square-foot communal room of my parents' youth in Kyiv, shared with 8 families, but a private apartment, a 600-square-foot miracle earned through their factory toil. Yet, Moscow's restless pulse of 5 million lives seeps through the concrete walls. A reminder that solitude is never complete in the Soviet Union. Sleep is my sanctuary, a fleeting escape from the demands of school, pioneers, and a system that maps my future before I can dream it. You, with your smart lights and sleep trackers, might find it hard to imagine. But this bed is my fortress, where I'm not just a Soviet girl, but Sophia, a dreamer chasing stars. I swing my legs over the cot's edge, the wood cold against my bare feet. My room, a 100-square-foot haven, holds a desk piled with textbooks, a shelf of approved Soviet stories, and a single 60-watt bulb casting long shadows. My brown uniform and red pioneer scarf hang on the door, symbols of duty that tie me to the collective but tug at my heart with unvoiced questions. Unlike your closets bursting with jeans and hoodies, my clothes are practical wool skirts, sturdy shoes, no room for trends. I pull on a sweater, its scratchy warmth a shield against the morning chill, and step into the kitchen, the 10 by 10-foot heart of our home. Mom's stirring kasha buckwheat porridge on a single gas burner, the air thick with its nutty scent. The samovar, a copper heirloom that's outlasted wars and purges, steams proudly, its metallic temps mingling with the must of old plaster. Unlike your cereal aisles or smoothie blenders, our meal is simple, kasha, with a rare teaspoon of sugar, eaten standing to save time. Oranges are a fantasy, a burst of color we might see for New Year's if Mom snags one from the state shop 3 blocks away. Dad's out, trudging a half-mile to the bakery line, a ritual where families trade turns for fresh bread, cheap, state-subsidized, but costing 30 minutes in the 40 degrees Fahrenheit drizzle. You might grab a bagel on your way to class. For us, bread is a victory, a shared effort that stitches our community together. Can you feel the weight of that weight? The hope in every loaf. If you're hooked on this glimpse into a world where every day is a quiet battle, hit that subscribe button. Your support fuels more stories like this, blending heart and history to lull you into sleep. Keep drifting with me. You won't want to miss the secrets hidden in this Soviet life. The bathroom, a 5 by 5-foot miracle in our private apartment, is a far cry from Kia's 5 by 7-foot communal chaos, where 8 families fought for a stained tub and groaning toilet. No lines here, no Maria or Ivan to outmaneuver. I wash with basic soap, its harsh scent unlike your lavender gels, and brush my teeth in a cracked mirror. Hot water, a rare gift warming my hands. 7 minutes, and I'm done. Communal habits linger, urging speed even without a cue. Back in the kitchen, Mom's tea warms my bones, a comfort as vital as your morning latte. I sit by the window, Moscow's gray dawn filtering through threadbare curtains. The state radio crackles, not just with news of cosmonaut triumphs or factory quotas, but with poetry Pushkin's verses of snow and longing, a voice that feels like a secret shared across time. I'm lost in those words, their rhythm sparking dreams beyond Moscow's concrete towers. This morning ritual is my rebellion, a flicker of creativity in a world demanding I march in step. You, with your podcasts and playlists, might find it quaint, but it's my lifeline, a whisper of a world where I'm more than a pioneer. School awaits, a 6-day grind, unlike your 5-day weeks with electives. I tie my red scarf with practiced ease, a symbol of belonging that comforts and confines. The half-mile walk through Moscow's micro-district's identical blocks, clustering shops and schools, joins streams of kids in brown uniforms, scarves bright against the autumn chill. Unlike your bus rides with earbuds, this is a silent march, the school looming with a Lenin statue out front, its gaze as stern as our math teachers. The day begins with a pioneer ceremony, 30 of us chanting, "I solemnly promise to live and study as Lenin bequeathed," voices rising in unison, a collective spirit both stirring and rote. It's not just duty, it's belonging, a warmth binding us, though I wonder what lies beyond the scarf. Can you imagine standing in that hall, your voice blending with others, feeling both part of something vast and achingly alone? Classes are relentless: math, science, literature, standardized to produce engineers for the state. Math is my strength. Equations, a puzzle I unravel, but the astronomy club lights my soul. After school, We climb to the roof, a battered telescope trained on Orion's belt. The stars are a secret shared across borders, a glimpse beyond the Iron Curtain, unlike your stargazing apps. Those nights, perched above Moscow, I feel infinite, though sleep comes late, stolen by homework. Lunch in the cafeteria, soup, meat, patties, compotensures, every kid eats, unlike your packed lunches. Conversations buzz, rumors of a cinema film, a cousin's Rolling Stones record on X-ray film. That fuzzy music is a thrill, riskier than your Spotify drops, a secret we guard. History class drills, Marxist-Leninist tales, but my mind wanders to stars and songs. A dual life of conformity and curiosity you might recognize in your own balancing act. Pioneer activities, singing, park cleanups, forge bonds, like family with friends, like Marina, who dreams of languages. Unlike your sports clubs, these shape us for the Soviet future, yet laughter makes them ours. At home, with parents still at work, I study under my 60-watt bulb, homework, heavy math, Pushkin, geography. Sleep suffers, but stars outside call, echoing rooftop nights. My parents return with apples, a workplace treasure, and we eat kasha, bread, and meat. The radio playing classical music, a Soviet gift, unlike your Netflix. We talk dads, factory tales, moms, shop gossip, my astronomy, dreams filling the kitchen with warmth. I sketch constellations, hiding them under my bed, my rebellion against a world demanding I belong to the collective. As I slip under my sheets, the cots creak a lullaby. I read Akhmatova's forbidden poems by lamplight, her resilience mirroring mine. Moscow's 5 million souls hum outside, but sleep is my escape, where I'm just Sophia, dreaming of stars and songs. You, with cozy bedrooms and endless choices, might find this strange, but there's beauty in this simplicity, a lesson in finding joy where you are. Stay with this story, let it carry you through the Soviet night, toward dreams as deep as mine. Close your eyes and imagine a world where every night's sleep is a hard-won victory, where your bed cradles dreams you dare not voice, and the city around you hums with the restless pulse of 5 million lives bound by a system that shapes every breath. It's 1983, Moscow, and I'm Sophia, 33, an engineer in a 600-square-foot apartment, a far cry from the communal chaos of my youth in Kyiv. For you, history lovers aged 16 to 40 in the US, Canada, and England, nestled in your 1,200-square-foot homes with private bathrooms and streaming apps. This is a plunge into a life where sleep is both sanctuary and rebellion, where every day weaves resilience into survival. How did I carve meaning from shortages and quotas? What secrets did I hide in my kitchen's quiet, in a city where whispers could be perilous? Stay with me, let this story grip your soul, ignite your curiosity, and lull you into a dreamy trance, wondering how a moment of rest could hold such power. Morning light seeps through my threadbare curtains, casting a soft glow across my 12 by 12-foot bedroom, a haven I never imagined in my youth's crowded apartments. My bed, a wooden frame with cotton sheets worn smooth, is no match for your memory foam or smart thermostats, but it's Mina private cocoon in a Moscow that never fully sleeps. The air's a crisp 55 degrees Fahrenheit, the city's chill creeping through concrete walls, A reminder that warmth is a luxury, even in 1983. Sleep is my refuge, where quotas, paperwork, and silent dissent melt away, leaving only Sophia, a woman with dreams, tucked beneath the sheets. Unlike your noise-canceling headphones or sleep apps, my rest is raw, earned through toil and defiance. You might find it hard to imagine, but this bed is my fortress, where I'm not an engineer or Soviet citizen, but a dreamer chasing whispers of freedom. I rise to the sharp tick of an alarm clock, its chime cutting through the dawn. Gone are the communal clatters of my youth. My apartment, a 600-square-foot triumph earned through factory years, is a quiet victory. I pad to the bathroom, a 5-by-5-foot sanctuary with a chipped sink and a shower granting hot water on good days. Unlike Kyu's 5-by-7-foot communal chaos, fought over by 8 families, this is my no lines, no lingering neighbors. I wash with basic soap, its sharp scent a far cry from your lavender gels, and brush my teeth in a fogged mirror, my reflection guarding its thoughts. Hot water today warms my chilled hands, a small miracle. You might linger in a steamy shower. For me, every minute is measured, a habit from shared spaces. In my 10-by-10-foot kitchen, the heart of my home, I brew tea on a single gas burner, the flame flickering against a Soviet fridge's hum. Unlike your granite countertop kitchens with espresso machines, my breakfast is sparse: black bread, a smear of butter, a sliver of sausage from a workplace deal. I smile at the contrast with your Starbucks runs or cereal aisles. My meal is simple, but fuels a demanding day. The samovar, a copper heirloom from my family's past, steams proudly, its temps mingling with plaster's must. It's survived wars and purges, a symbol of resilience anchoring me. Sipping tea, its bitterness grounds me, a small joy in scarcity. Can you feel the weight of that cup steadying you in a world of limits? If you're hooked on this glimpse into a life of quiet victories, hit that subscribe button. Your support fuels more stories like this, blending heart and history to lull you into sleep. Keep drifting with me. You won't want to miss the secrets of this Soviet world. My commute through the Moscow metro is a marvel, its chandelier-lit stations gleaming like palaces. Unlike your crowded subways or podcast-filled drives, this ride is silent. Workers packed shoulder to shoulder, lost in thought. I clutch my bag lunch, a notebook, a pencil for sketching, and watch Moscow blur through fogged windows. Palaces turned communal flats, Stalinist towers, post-war blocks like mine. Lines snake outside shops, women with string bags hoping for butter. Unlike your Amazon orders, posters shout socialist glory, but faces around me are weary, fixed on survival. Can you imagine trading your Instagram scroll for this shared endurance? At the factory, a 40-acre sprawl producing TV parts, I'm an engineer in an 8-by-8-foot cubicle, holding a photo of my parents, a clunky phone, and paperwork forms in triplicate, oiling the Soviet machine. Comrade Volkov's 12% quota hike sparks, groans my team Katya, a witty technician. Victor, a meticulous veteran, knows find reserves means cutting corners. We stash hidden parts, a forbidden lifeline like your workplace shortcuts. The floor roars machines, screeching air, thick with oil and sweat. I solve crises like an overheating motor, fixed by Ivan's salvaged parts. his grumble hiding ingenuity you'd recognize in a DIY hack. Pride fuels me, our parts bringing TVs to families, but exhaustion steals downtime, promising deep sleep. Unlike your 9 to 5, with coffee breaks, this is relentless labor. Breaks are brief 10 minutes for weak tea, whispers of winter coats at the store. Katya shares rumors. Victor talks of his grandson, eyes softening. These moments, like your team chats, bind us. I dream of a radio or a better apartment, waitlists stretching years. I sketch in my mind gears, Katya's smiler, secret hobby. I'll draw tonight, hidden under my bed. You might post art online. I keep mine clandestine, a claim to my soul. Evenings are salvation, my kitchen alive with friends like Marina and Dmitri, sipping Soviet champagne. Its fizz a cheap luxury, unlike your Netflix binges. We share stories, Marina's student's poem, Dimitri's shipment, Ella Fitzgerald's voice, a risky whisper of the West. We pass Tverdowski's poems, dreaming of coffee or vacations, easing the system's weight. Can you feel the thrill of a forbidden song, the warmth of a shared laugh? Weekends bring hikes in Gorky Park, a 2-mile walk where I collect wildflowers to press in books, a meditative escape unlike your ski trips but equally renewing. I sketch flowers, contrasting the factory's steel, my secret gallery of resilience. The system's cracks grow shops emptier, promises hollow, but I volunteer, teaching math to kids at a community center, their curiosity sparking hope. Unlike your volunteer apps, our efforts are grassroots, lifting each other up. In my 144 square foot bedroom, I read Akhmatova by a 60-watt bulb, her resilience echoing mine. Sleep is my sanctuary, Moscow's hum a distant lullaby. You, with cozy homes, might find this strange, but there's beauty in this simplicity, a lesson in finding joy where you are. Stay with this story toward dreams as deep as mine. In the heart of the Soviet Union, from 1953 to 1983, I, Sophia, lived a life woven with resilience, quiet rebellion, and the pursuit of meaning in a world of scarcity and control. For history lovers, aged 16 to 40 in the US, Canada, and England, this story unveils a tapestry of daily struggles, communal bonds, and personal triumphs, where sleep was both a sanctuary and a hard-won prize. Across 3 decades, my journey from a teenager in a cramped communal apartment to an engineer in a private Moscow flat reveals the human spirit's ability to find light in the shadows of a rigid system. Let me take you through this life, from the chilly mornings of Kyiv to the hopeful evenings of Moscow, where every moment taught me to carve out joy amidst constraints. I was born into a 150 square foot room in Kyiv, 1953, a space shared with my parents in a pre-revolutionary apartment turned communal for 8 families. The air was a biting 50 degrees Fahrenheit, my breath fogging as I woke on a creaky cot, layered with a thin blanket and Dad's old coat for warmth. Unlike the sprawling 1,200 square foot homes you might know, this room was our universe where we slept, ate, and dreamed, with no room for privacy. The walls, thick from Tsarist days, carried the sounds of neighbors, pots clanging, arguments over sugar, a baby's wail, pipes groaning like ghosts. My bed doubled as a couch by day, and clothes hung on hooks. No closets, no space for excess. Mom brewed tea on a forbidden electric burner, the samovar steaming as a symbol of endurance, having survived wars and purges. Breakfast was kasha, buckwheat porridge, with a rare teaspoon of sugar, eaten standing to save time. Oranges were a distant dream, saved for New Year's if we were lucky. Dad trudged a half-mile to the bakery line, a 30-minute wait in the 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Drizzle for states subsidized bread, a ritual shared with neighbors like the Petrovs, binding us in mutual aid. The bathroom was a daily battle, a 5 by 7 foot space for 30 people, with a stained tub, cracked sink, and protesting toilet. Timing was everything. Too early, I shivered in the 45 degrees Fahrenheit hallway. Too late, I waited behind Maria, the slow-moving widow, or Ivan, the gruff factory worker. The dim corridor, lit by a 40-watt bulb, bore worn parquet and peeling wallpaper, layers of Soviet history exposed like an open wound. When my turn came, I rushed through soap and toothbrush in 7 minutes, leaving time for others. Back in our room, Mom's tea warmed my hands, and the state radio crackled with Pushkin's poetry, a morning ritual that sparked dreams in a world demanding conformity. I pulled on a wool coat, practical over stylish, and descended 5 flights in a stairwell smelling of cabbage and tobacco, the elevator long broken. Kia streets greeted me with drizzle, and I squeezed onto a crowded tram, bodies pressed, in silent endurance. Through fogged windows, I saw a city of golden domes and concrete blocks, lines snaking outside shops, posters boasting of 5-year plans. At the Arsenal factory, a 50-acre sprawl, I worked a lathe, shaping tractor parts, amid screeches and oil. Unlike your air-conditioned offices, this was raw, the air thick with sweat and metal. Breaks were 10 minutes for weak tea, whispers of shop deliveries fueling hope. I took pride in my work, knowing it fed farms across Ukraine, but exhaustion promised deep sleep at night. In the quiet of our room, I sketched machines, workers' faces, Kidius, Skylina, secret rebellion against the system's quotas. Evenings brought communal kitchen chaos, smells of cabbage and fish, laughter over Dad's bakery tales. The radio's poetry lingered, a spark of freedom I carried into sleep. My cot, a haven where dreams slipped past the collective's grip. By 1962, I'd moved to Moscow, a city pulsing with ambition, and become a supervisor at a 40-acre factory producing TV parts. My 600-square-foot apartment was a palace compared to Kiyu's communal room, its 12 by 12-foot bedroom a private sanctuary with sturdy sheets. Sleep here was a luxury, unmarred by neighbors' noises, though Moscow's 5 million lives hummed outside. Mornings began with an alarm, not pots. And my private bathroom a 5 by 5 foot marvelment, no lines, just hot water when luck allowed. I brewed tea in a 10 by 10 foot kitchen, the heart of my home, with a humming Soviet fridge and a single burner. Breakfast was bread and butter, sometimes sausage from workplace deals, a far cry from your cereal aisles. The Moscow metro, with chandelier-lit stations, carried me to work, a silent ride among workers. Unlike your podcast-filled commutes at the factory, my glass-walled cubicle held a photo of my parents and endless paperwork. Comrade Volkov's 12% quota hike sparked groans, and we relied on unofficial reserves, hidden parts to keep machines running, a quiet defiance like your workplace shortcuts. I oversaw 20 workers, Katya, a witty technician, Victor, a meticulous veteran navigating crises like overheating motors fixed by Ivan's salvaged parts. The air was thick with oil and sweat, but pride in our work, bringing TVs to families, fueled me. Exhaustion guaranteed sleep, but stole downtime. At night, I sketched gears, faces, city lights, hiding my drawings under my bed. A rebellion against conformity. You might share art online. I kept mine secret, a claim to my soul. Evenings were my refuge, my kitchen alive with friends like Lena and Dmitri, sipping Soviet champagne and sharing stories. We played bootleg jazz on X-ray films, Ella Fitzgerald's voice, a whisper of the West, like your Spotify finds, but riskier. We passed around Tverdowski's poems, dreaming of coffee or vacations, moments that made the system's weight bearable. These gatherings, unlike your Netflix nights, were our lifeline, where honest talk flourished. Sleep came gently. My 144-square-foot bedroom, a cocoon, the city's hum, a distant lullaby. My sketches, poetry, and friendships taught me hope, a lesson in finding joy amidst duty. In 1968, I was 13, waking in a 100-square-foot bedroom in our Moscow apartment, a step up from Kyiv's chaos. My narrow bed, under a 60-watt bulb, was where I studied late, sacrificing sleep for math and Pushkin. Unlike your 5-day school weeks, mine was 6 days, rigid with science and literature to serve the state. My pioneer scarf, red and proud, tied me to the collective, but my heart soared at the astronomy club, where we gazed at Orion through a battered telescope. Those stars were my rebellion, a glimpse beyond the Iron Curtain, unlike your backyard stargazing apps. Breakfast was kasha and tea, the radio playing patriotic songs. But I sneaked listens to Rolling Stones on X-ray films. A thrill you might get from a new playlist, but secret here. School was intense, standardized to produce engineers, but the pioneer meetings, singing, planning park, homework kept me up, my eyes heavy, but the stars outside called, a promise of freedom. By 1975, at 25, I was an engineer, my 600-square-foot apartment, a haven. My bedroom, with Akhmatova's poems by lamplight, was my sanctuary after Tenorwar. Days designing TV circuits. Evenings brought cinema trips to see The White Sun of the Desert, our Star Wars, and cafe chats over mediocre coffee. A contrast to your Starbucks runs. I sketched constellations, blending math and wonder, a defiance against outdated machines and quotas. Volunteering at a youth club, teaching math, sparked hope. My stars and jazz records, a reminder to dream within constraints. By 1983, at 33, I was settled in my Moscow apartment, its 600-square-foot space filled with books, photos, and a macrame hanging. My kitchen, a 10 by 10-foot haven, hosted friends, sharing East German coffee and Tverdowski's poems. Our laughter, a rebellion against growing shortages. The system, post-Brezhnev, showed cracks, empty shops, hollow promises, but I found purpose. Teaching kids math at a community center, their curiosity mirroring my youth. Weekends meant hikes in Gorky Park, collecting wildflowers to press in books. A meditative escape, unlike your ski trips, but equally renewing. My sketches, flowers, stars, factory scenes piled up, a secret gallery of resilience. Sleep was my sanctuary, a basic routine with soap and sturdy sheets. Akhmatova's words by a 60-watt bulb echoing my defiance. Moscow's hum, a city of 5 million, never stopped, but in my 144-square-foot bedroom, I was just Sophia, dreaming of jazz and wildflowers. The system shaped me, but friendships, volunteering, and sketches defined me, teaching me to find meaning in connection, not abundance. The profound lesson from my journey is that resilience and connection create meaning even in the most constrained circumstances. In a world of quotas, shortages, and conformity, I found joy in small moments, shared laugh, a forbidden song, a pressed flower. These acts of defiance and community taught me that purpose isn't found in abundance, but in the bonds we forge and the spaces we carve for ourselves. For you, in your fast-paced lives with endless choices, this lesson applies by encouraging you to seek meaning in the everyday. Pause to connect with a friend over coffee. Pursue a quiet passion like drawing or writing, or volunteer to lift others up. These small acts, like my sketches or kitchen talks, build a life rich in purpose, no matter the constraints. When work overwhelms or choices paralyze, focus on what grounds your relationships, creativity, giving back, and you'll find resilience to navigate any challenge. What do you think of Sophia's story? How do you find meaning in your daily grind through a hobby, a conversation, a moment of quiet? Share your thoughts below. I'd love to hear how you carve out joy in your world. Your perspectives inspire others, just as Sophia's resilience inspires us. For me, her story reminds us that architecture, whether a 1,000-square-foot room or a 600-square-foot apartment, shapes lives. But it's the human connections within those spaces that truly define us. Let's keep this conversation going. Comment with your views, and let's build a community of shared stories, loved drifting into Sophia's Soviet world. Subscribe for more history sleep stories that blend heart and history, perfect for your bedtime escape. Your support fuels more content like this, keeping the stories flowing.